All right, guys, we got a problem. One of the problems is that truck prices are really expensive, but I got an even bigger problem that I'll tell you about in a minute. But I'm out here just kind of browsing, looking at trucks, because it's time to upgrade the old Subaru. The wife is gonna get a new vehicle, I think, so I need a truck. She's gonna have somewhat of a crossover, but the price on these things are insane. So I'm not biased towards one brand, GMC, Ford, Dodge. Actually, I'm not a huge Dodge fan, but yeah, what's this one here? $73,000. So I'm not really picky on the brand. I like all kinds of different trucks. I'm not one of those diehards. I just in general can't stomach these prices. I want to go buy a clapped out $30,000 truck, which 30 grand, I mean, that's a lot of money. 30 grand, 67. But that's what you gotta, you know, if you want a $30,000 truck, it's gonna be one that has 50,000, actually probably more than that, 50 to 100,000 miles on it. It's insane. I do like this color right here. It's kind of this, I think it's called Sandstorm. This truck is a Duramax, which I do not need, but I do dig the look of it. Oh, hey. So back to business. So I'm actually down at the campground. Person that cleans for us is actually out of town at the moment. So I'm just down here checking on everything, making sure nothing is exploding. So looks decent for now. Hello. All right, so women's bathrooms, you'd think would be always cleaner, but they're not always. But they look okay for now. So just making my rounds down here, checking on a couple things. And just wanted to point out we're getting a couple lots developed right now, running services to them. We actually have plans. When we bought this thing, I think we had bought it at 38 lots. We've added a couple sites. I think we're at like 42 lots right now. So I guess we've added 4. And we have plans. We should be adding potentially 10 plus more lots, you know, over the course of the summer. So most of the lots are concrete. We've got a couple like that one that we added back there. It's a pull-through site, or this one, that are gravel, but most of them have a concrete pad, which is definitely desired. As I've mentioned in my videos before, I'm always looking, you know, for water leaks, things that need to be looked at. You can see we still have some that have insulation wrapped around them from the winter. It is still pretty cold. It's 42 right now. But most of that'll be coming off here soon. And spring campers, we're already getting a ton of bookings this for this summer slash, you know, the fall. People will book out, you know, 6 months in advance all the time. So it's exciting to see it fill up, and everything is doing well. It's also a lot of fun tracking the numbers and just looking at where we're at versus where we were last year. So I'll have to talk about those numbers sometime. So this is, you can't really tell in the video here, but we're heading up kind of a steep hill. And there's additional acreage up there I've talked about that we are potentially gonna be developing up onto, you know, we could double the size of the campground or triple it if we wanted to. So that's something that we may consider doing depending upon how this year goes. We're gonna be adding some sites. You start utilizing this ground over here. So yeah, campground is doing well and a lot of fun. So back to the problem that I was referencing earlier. It's really not a problem. It's a pretty good problem to have. So we recently exited all of the mobile home parks. We had 5, sold one last year, and then sold the remaining 4 a few weeks ago now. And the problem, which again, it's a good problem, if you're paying taxes, you're probably making a profit. And that's our problem. We have a massive tax bill that we're gonna need to pay if we don't do something about it. So we are looking right now to do a 1031 exchange, which if you don't know what that is, essentially it's just a fancy way of saying kicking the can down the road in terms of taxes. So when we close on a property, when we sell a property, that profit from the sale, we don't get to touch it if we're doing a 1031. It goes into a third-party escrow account called a qualified intermediary, QI, and the QI holds those funds, and then we more or less tell the IRS we have 45 days. The clock starts when we sell the properties. The clock starts on that day that we sell, and we have 45 days to identify, to tell the IRS, hey, we're gonna buy these 3 properties. Now there's some other rules. You can identify actually more than 3. There's something called the 200% rule, the 95% rule. Not gonna get into that. High overview, you can identify these 3 properties, and then in those remaining, well, after the 45 days is up, you have to close on those properties in 180 days. Again, there's some more details that go along with that, but that's the big overview. And you take that profit and you need to use all of it to more or less avoid all the tax. You need to use all that profit. So from the park sale, we have all this cash sitting in this QI account, and we are in the process of looking for new purchases, which is challenging. We got a really good price for the parks, and especially where we're from in this area, there's just not a lot of larger real estate for sale. So that's what we're doing. We're looking for some larger stuff, either apartment buildings, self-storage, potentially another campground, something like that. So that's my problem. I got to spend money to avoid paying tax, and hopefully we can find something. Definitely first world problems. It's not really a problem at all, actually. It's pretty exciting to think about. You know, we sold all the properties, all the mobile home parks that is, and don't know what we're gonna buy yet, which is, you know, the exciting part. So stay tuned. I'll let you guys know if I'm looking at anything interesting. I actually did just look at a big commercial warehouse. Super cool building. I don't know if it makes sense for me to buy it. It's more of like an industrial type building, like a company that maybe manufactures something would go there, but it does have some storage units on it. It has, you know, some office in there, pretty big property. It's like, you know, 28,000 square feet within, you know, the storage buildings, the self-storage buildings on a separate, you know, parcel, as well as like a big outlot that you could build a bunch more on. So don't know yet what's gonna happen. The time is ticking down, so don't know when this video is going to go live, but as of April 10th, I have to have all of my properties identified that I want to close on. So may or may not happen. Wish me luck. If you guys know of anything interesting, definitely hit me up. I'm open to even traveling and buying outside of my area. So that's what's going on. That's the problem. Got some other exciting projects coming up that you're going to see in the next videos that I'm already working on. So stay tuned for those. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.